Hello, Leo. Welcome to your January soul session. I am Princess India, if you are new, and if you are family, welcome back, my friend. And whatnot, or whatever. If you are not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of giving you some clarity, advice, and guidance and all that good stuff to help you out along your journey, my friend. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to go ahead and jump into your cards. But first, I'm going to tell you two things. One, those of you who were here last month, if you weren't, welcome, new subscriber. But I have the surrender card from the collective reading for my Leos. It was surrender obsessive thinking. So we're going to see how that kind of pans out, because we picked those because this is something like the intention I did the reading with at least. And now I know that the full moon is in Leo this month, just a side note. But anywho, we picked these because this was the thing that you wanted to surrender in December or leave behind in 2020, because it was something that was at the core of your unhappiness or the discord in your life, my wonderful Leos. So let's go ahead and see if that relates to anything that's coming up for you guys this month, and see how we're kicking off 2020, my friends. Let's see here. We have a central energy, a challenge, a past influence, future possibilities, your above energy as well as your below energy. And we're going to start with what's at the bottom of your deck. And Leo, I cannot ignore this nagging feeling. With the full moon is in Leo, I need to see when the new moon was in Leo, because this is going to be of utmost importance to you guys. So my apologies for holding up your reading. Let's see. Okay, August 18th, 2020. That's interesting. So August, if you guys are intention setters, it was the 18th of August. And that's interesting because with Cancer, I was telling them to, I felt for them to go back to July. That's interesting. Leos, I would go back to your point of reference if you're an intention setter. I would go back to the intentions, okay, that you guys set in August, if you did set intentions. If not, I would just look back, and I don't know how much, like if you guys are journalers or if you look back at text messages or notes or something of the sort, or even if you guys go back to the Leo reading for August to kind of trigger your memory, I feel whatever it is that you guys were pondering on at that time, or if you reached like a breaking point, if you will, in August, or found yourself in a place where you decided it was something you wanted to shift, I think it's imperative at this time to retrieve that, because I feel with the full moon on the 28th of this month, there's a transformative element there. For some of you guys, it may be a marker point to see how much you've grown since then, or helping you identify like a pervasive problem since then, or kind of seeing in some level or another where a cycle is kind of ending with you all. So that's just a little side note. But at the bottom of you guys' deck, interesting. Isn't that something? We already know where your surrender card plays into this. We have the 9 of Swords in the reverse at the bottom of you guys' deck, Leo. So we're hopping right into you guys' surrender card. It says, if you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. And another thing, I have the cards for Sagittarius as well as for Gemini, because in the collective reading, I was saying that the solution to what Leo was struggling with the obsessive thinking lies both. It's like you guys are the middle road between the energy that came up for Gemini as well as Sagittarius. In Gemini's reading, their card was surrender to spirit. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine and let spirit work its magic for you. And Sagittarius was surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. Now, what I want to say with that is yoga. Those of you, congratulations to the winners. I don't know if they actually were Leos or not, but our fitness trainer and yoga instructor, this is making me think of her. She's a Leo. But I want to say with this surrender stress, Leo, all of these things are tying into each other. So if I were to put your obsessive thinking between these two cards that came out for Gemini and came out for Sag, what this is saying to me is that, and even with this 9 of Swords in the reverse at the bottom of you guys' deck, which makes it the undergirding energy for what we're going to get into in you guys' spread, but what this would be saying to me is that with obsessive thinking, you guys have vacated your emotional space and you're trapped in analysis paralysis. So it's thinking, overthinking, and rethinking, and it's thinking worst case scenario or thinking fear-based thoughts. Now, what I've been telling everyone about the 4 tools of creation, or the 4 bodies of man, which would be your mental body, your emotional body, right? Your etheric body, which would be, your will in so many words, and your physical body. What we're talking about with Leos is how your mental space with the obsessive thinking, and this is about to get really serious, affects your emotional space, right? And thus affects your physical body. And how this is affecting your physical body is when you're under stress because of, obsessively thinking about something, you're going to release cortisol. That's the stress hormone. When people say stress can kill you, that's not a joke, because cortisol puts you in fight or flight mode, right? And it causes damage to your heart. It causes the deterioration of your body. That's why stress is not good. People have heart attacks and aneurysms and strokes and all kinds of things. So just for your overall health, it's imperative to be cognizant of that. We can say positive vibes and positive thinking and things of the sort, but it's very imperative to be conscious, especially for all of us this year in 2021. This is very much a year that is centralized around the power of the mind. It's imperative to get that in check, or to reach out to someone to assist you with that, and to learn some skills for stress management, because this can seriously cause issues with your health long term, right? But with the other side of this, so this is showing like a fear-based energy and a love-based, agape, higher vibrational, light-based energy with surrendering to spirit. And it's a lot of the message I've been telling a lot of other signs is focus on your what you're trying to do, put in the time, energy, and effort to do as much as you can do in a situation, and leave the how to spirit. It's learning how to surrender things that are outside of your control, because it's more or less my Leos would be struggling with something, or what's underlying what we're getting into with the cards again is almost torturing yourself mentally, where it's fear, it's worry, and what ifs, and if I would have did one thing different and things of the sort, and none of these things are behooving you, and they're deteriorating your health in the process. So that's something that you guys want to be cognizant of. Now, the central energy that we have for this month, Oh, look at that. It's the Justice card. So we're talking about, that's Libra energy, by the way. We're talking about cause and effect here. We're talking about the laws of karma. We're talking about consequences for our actions and things of the sort. Then our challenge is the 8 of coins in the reverse. How did I know that this was going to be here? I was literally talking about these cards and I kept seeing the 8 of Pentacles. That's so interesting. And this ended up coming out for Gemini as well. So it may behoove you guys to watch that as well. And your past influence is the 6 of Wands. That's wonderful. So here's the dealio, Leo. I feel coming into January from December, you guys have had a win. Last month, you guys' reading was A Star is Born. You know what I mean? So I think that you guys have kind of rode out of 2020, good Lord. I was like 21. Then I was trying to say 2020, and then my mind was just like twos. Okay, anyway. But I feel like you guys left out of 2020 either being recognized for your work or what you've done, or just feeling positive about yourself and what it is that you guys are doing. However, it's not to say that something, you know, subpar is going to happen or something bad is happening this month, or, you know, the rug's getting pulled from under you. It's not that at all. I feel it's more or less, it's almost as if things go so well that it's kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. For those of you where there is something that transpired for you guys in the latter part of December, because I feel like I said that with you guys last month, it's like some type of little hiccup or something of the sort. There's a need, and this is where we can piggyback off of what I saw in Cancer's energy. It's a need to sober-mindedly take into account what this Justice card would be suggesting, which would be cause and effect. I talked to Cancer a lot about like the 7 of Swords, what you skip will trip you up later, about different little things that they've neglected, different little things that they've ignored or they've put on the back burner that come back to like bite them in the butt later on. And if that wasn't the case for you guys, where there wasn't some sort of hiccup towards the end of December or the end of 2020, however you want to look at it, this is more or less like a heads up, if you will, because if you guys had a major victory or a win, this 8 of Pentacles in the reverse would be telling you not to rest on your laurels, because there would be a consequence for that. So even though you guys may have successfully achieved something or gotten to a certain space or got a certain amount of being recognized for something, the key isn't to kind of pause and just stop, right? You want to keep going, because if you guys rest on your laurels, there is a consequence for that action, meaning that if you kind of chill, you know what I'm saying? And this obsessive thinking thing, I feel is something that you guys struggle with. So it's kind of like, I hope this is making sense, but it's kind of like, if we were talking about a Leo person that has a tendency to procrastinate, right? So say that there, you know, was something you were doing for work, a project or something like that, or something you were doing with your business, and you started to procrastinate, but then you looked at, you know, how many days you had left and you were like, holy crap. And then like you went bananas, worked on it, you turn it in, or you reveal this thing and people are like, yeah, you know what I mean? But that wasn't the end goal. It's like you accomplished one thing, but there's still a myriad of other things that you need to do, right? It's almost as if coming into January and just like sitting back, like chilling, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm good. Like, ooh, they liking my social media. Like, you know what I'm saying? And getting wrapped up into that, and this Justice and this 8 of Coins in the reverse would be saying, whoa, hold on now. Don't get too comfortable, right? We still have work to do, because if you start to procrastinate yet again, then when another deadline comes, or it's something that you guys have to turn in, or something that you have to do in a certain amount of time, or even if we're talking about money, you know what I mean? it's like suddenly the deadline is near, you haven't done the work, and then you go into panic mode again, right? So now it's being extremely stressed out because now you're obsessively thinking, am I going to have the money for this? Can I pay this in time? Am I going to be able to have this done in time? And it's like that cycle starts all over again. So much like for a lot of the other signs, Leo, this month is about breaking a habit or breaking a cycle. And I feel that you guys consistently end up in this space where you're, having nightmares, freaking out, insomnia, you're stressing, and it's like being in a very impulsive sense. And this impulsivity and this obsession is coming from a lack thereof of proper preparation, right? So it's kind of like doing the work to get something done and then forgetting about it. But it's needing to understand that it's a continuum, if that's making sense. So it's like a consistent balance that you guys want to maintain to make your life easier. And that's where it reminds me of Cancer, because it's almost like living your life, like the Leo that would resonate with this is like your life is always constantly putting out fires. You know what I mean? It's like putting duct tape on this, putting duct tape on this type of deal. But I feel the reason why this is happening is because Spirit is giving you guys an opportunity to break out of that cycle and to gain control over your life and your experience, so that these little things don't come and bite you in the butt later, if that's making sense. Now, your underlying energy is the Nine of Wands. Yeah, dude, this is a lot of fear. Like when I was saying with this Six of Wands, like, and coming into this Justice, like waiting for the other shoe to drop, that's very much the vibe I get, because it's thinking about stuff that's transpired in the past. But I feel that for the entire collective, a lot of these readings are all about a wake-up call. It's like when I was talking about the 31st of October, and I was saying how that's a portal, and that portal is more or less a mirror. And it was us seeing ourselves. It was getting that first taste of how it is that we're contributing to a lot of the stuff that's happening. It's very easy for us to say that things are happening to us or people are doing these things, but it's little insidious things that we have going on under the surface, like i.e. obsessive thinking, that are undermining our progress as well. So with this Nine of Wands, it's more or less, it's speaking of being battle weary, yes, because I don't know specifically what you guys are doing, but I feel like it's kind of like an uphill battle, if you will. I feel this is something you guys have been putting a lot of work into. It's painstaking work. It's like, I feel like you guys are like hustling and trying to get somewhere, but it's almost as if this cloud is always looming behind you. So I feel it's saying not to rest on your laurels, because things are going good now, but don't think that just because things are going good that you can't fall back into bad habits, right? Because if you've never really coped with or dealt with the root of this obsessive thinking, or you're one of those people who think that, procrastinating and pulling an all-nighter is the wave, you know what I mean? And just kind of accepting that that's the way that stuff is bad for your health, And again, I love how this always relates back to something that I used to do all of these readings this month. I used to be this person where I almost got like, I'm like, oh, I do my best work like right before the deadline. You know what I mean? But, you get older. I'm just letting you know now. I used to be able to stay up for like 2 days and like work on stuff, but I've gotten older and my body is just like, boo, like it's 9 o'clock and it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So age will catch up with you. And then you're not really doing your best work. That's just one of those things that we tell ourselves. So I feel this is more or less you guys slowing down and getting more of a practical, more consistent approach to things. Because, and honestly, Leo, I have to say, this is a tad bit of a forewarning, because it's almost like a cycle can repeat itself. And this reading, oh, good Lord, this reading is coming out like this because I feel like it's giving you an opportunity to not repeat the same cycle. You guys above energy is the Hermit. Oh, I love the Hermit. That's Virgo energy. So the thing is, Leo, you guys, I'm going to clarify this year because I wanted to say 3 things out my mouth just now. before I confuse y'all, let me clarify this, Hermit. Because it's 3 different things I want to say with this. Oh, and I know you lying to me. 3 cards just came out, Leo. This going to end up being long. 3 cards came out. I just said, I wanted to say 3 different things, but I don't want to confuse y'all. But then 3 clarifying cards come out. Get comfortable because we're going to be here a minute. Okay, first card we have is attachment in the reverse. Then we have appreciation. And then we, Lord, we have the thinking man in the reverse. Okay, this just got interesting. Okay, Leo, all right. There's one group of you guys, right, with this attachment in the reverse. We're speaking specifically to a bad habit, right? So the work that's going to be done, or the light of truth that's going to be shown to my Leos this month is a lot of what I was saying just now, like this whole bad habit thing. It's things that you have done for some time. This is the way you've always handled things, like I said, with the whole procrastination thing. And this is more or less saying that now this month is a time for that group of people, my procrastinators, to take a step back and to give an honest look at everything that you've done. And granted, if you've gotten positive results, cool. But be honest with yourself of, could I have done that better? You know, it's like, yeah, I wrote that, 10-page paper the night before it was due and I got, a B, but if I would have spaced that out over the course of like 2 months, would that have been more conducive to my progress? Could I have gotten an A? Could I have, dived more deep into the information? You know what I mean? So this is more or less talking about my first group of Leos breaking out of a habit where you've been kind of skating by and it's been working, but you know that it's not necessarily healthy. You know that it's not necessarily in your best interest, but it may feel almost as if it's difficult for you to change. You know what I mean? But with this hermit and this attachment in the reverse, it's more or less talking about self-honesty, if you will. It's doing an honest assessment of your life. And do you want every time a paper is due, or every time a project is due, or every time, whatever it is that you do you really want to be in this state of duress and like just making it by the skin of your teeth type of deal, right? Especially with long-term, like how I was talking about health effects and stuff like that, especially when long-term this can truly affect your health. You know what I mean? Now with my second group of Leos with the appreciation card, I feel for you guys, and this kind of changes the dynamic of what it is that I'm seeing here. I feel with you guys, it's obsessing so much over something that you guys have lost, right? Or something that isn't panning out the way that you would hope. Because I'm thinking with the 6 of Wands, so it's almost like you guys like having a good job, getting a good job, or accomplishing something along those lines, but it not really being what it is that you want. And it's kind of like taking this for granted. So whatever it is that you guys have, and I mean, I don't know, maybe, I don't know why this is coming in my head, but it's like, say if you didn't have a car and someone like gave you a car, right? And you're not really taking care of it, like you're not washing it, you're not, getting oil changes and stuff because you hate the car, because it's like, this isn't the kind of car that I wanted. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like my second group of Leos have something, or were given something, or achieved something, but it's not what it is that you want. And there's a part of it where it's kind of looking at the past. It's either something you lost and you got something else, and you don't want the thing you have because you want the thing that's from the past, or you got something or you have something that you didn't really want, and it's like you're neglecting this thing because you want something else. But I feel if we were to bring in this obsessive thinking with that, it's almost like you're fixating on what's wrong, and you're fixating on what's wrong with the situation so much that there's no gratitude for what it is that you have. You know what I mean? And I feel this is more or less like a forewarning for my group 2 people, because it's almost like and I'm not saying, like, I'm not foretelling that anyone's gonna lose something, but if something were to happen to this thing that you're neglecting, like if we went back to the car situation, if you neglecting this car and the car broke down and now you're just completely without a car, it's like you're gonna be regretting, like, man, I really should have took care of that car, because now it's like I'm back to going Uber again. You know what I'm saying? So this is really for my group 2 people about gratitude, you know? And then I also want to hop back to my group 1 people. It's something here with identity too. And it's almost like in my group 1 people, I can already tell y'all might be lining up with these group 3 people here. But it's like with group 1 people, it's almost like the procrastination people, it's like an unrest, if you will, because it's like people you're around or what you're involved in right now. It's like either your friend group or who you're surrounding yourself with, or what it is that you're involved in is very, very far removed from yeah, and for some of y'all, that's why y'all procrastinating. It's very far removed from your truth. And this obsessive thinking is almost like an unrest where you feel very uneasy, like you just feel wrong where you are, right? And it's almost like trying to silence that. But it's like I feel that unrest is coming to the surface because it's telling you this isn't where you're supposed to be. So where this comes into what I was saying with procrastination and this 8 of coins in the reverse and all this anxiety and all of that, it's almost like doing sloppy work or waiting till the last minute because you're not really passionate about what you're doing. Like your heart isn't really in it. So it's almost like these people are going through a transformation or have gone through one. And that's kind of why, and I could even say the same thing. I mean, for the group 2 people, of why it is you're not really grateful for where you are because you don't really want to be here. So what would be considered a victory to someone else, for you it's you know what I'm saying, because this isn't really where it is that you want to be. You know what I mean? So this is more or less like with this hermit, and I'm about to get to this third group with this thinking man in the reverse. It's like in an energetic essence, this hermit card is the root of this. It's the same vibration, but it's manifesting in 3 different ways, you know, because all of this goes back to Leos and whatever group that you're in needing to come back to yourself, you know, because it's in some way, shape, form, or fashion, it's like you vacated yourself in some way. Now with this group 3 of Leos here, if you're a Leo dude, I would have to say this would be related to a Virgo female, right? Where it's almost like you're being stifled, much like how these little group 1 people is over here. Like I was saying with the identity thing, and that's why I was saying those 2 interrelate. It's like it's being stifled, you know? And I would probably say my Leo males would probably resonate more with this group 1 attachment card, but you know, get in where you fit in, because my first inclination with this is Leo females. Like if you're a female and you're dealing with a Virgo male specifically, it's like this dude is bad for business, period. It's almost as if how he presents himself in an external sense, he seems like super whatever, like smart and good looking and all of this stuff. But it's like him as a person, nah, he's like manipulative and selfish and very self-focused, you know? And I feel the connection with this person, it's a distraction for you, because it's almost like what it is that you accomplish, it's like this person berates your accomplishments. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. It could be a sibling, it could be, you know, a coworker, whatever. But it's no matter what it is that you accomplish, this person always makes you feel like it's not enough. So you feel super dope about yourself until this person says something, and then it like brings you back into this whole like, you know, being stuck in your head and thinking and rethinking. It's like, was that really a good job? And I probably looked really dumb. And why did I say that? And da 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 type of deal, right? But like I was saying, for my Leo dudes, I feel that if you guys are dealing with a Virgo person, it's more or less similar to where this person is making you feel that way. It's like they're making you doubt yourself completely. And it's almost like making yourself feel small. But like I said, I feel that more with this attachment card in the reverse for you guys, where it's almost like being with this person or around this person, and I mean, for Leo dudes, I mean, it may be another dude that's a Virgo, you know what I'm saying? If that resonates, but it's like this person makes you feel not enough, you know? It's like no matter what you do, it's not good enough. And you just feel very, very small, you know? But with all three of these different manifestations of the same energy, the premise of it is needing to come back to yourself, right? Because I feel you guys have vacated yourself, and everything that you're experiencing in your external world is a symptom of the deeper problem, and it's being out of alignment with your truth. So whatever it is you guys are pursuing, or who you're with, or who you're around, it's just not good for business. Now, moving forward, child, this is the same thing for everybody. We have the Six of Swords in the reverse. So here's the dealio. I'm telling you guys, like I told Cancer, this card is not a foretelling of your future, of saying, oh my gosh, in the future, you guys are going to be stuck. No. The way that all of these spreads have been coming out is it's almost as if Spirit is giving you a snapshot and showing you how this pattern that you guys have been in, or this approach you guys have been partaking in, how this ultimately always ends up for you, right? And it's being mentally stuck. It's staying in the chaos. It's staying in the unrest. It's staying in the proverbial, you know, turbulent waters, you know, not being on solid ground. But it's all a mental thing. It's being mentally stuck, right? And it's, like I said, with this obsessive thinking, it's focusing on the wrong thing. It's either focusing on fear-based stuff, focusing on past stuff, focusing on worst case scenario, projecting that into the future, whatever the case may be. The key is to come back to your center, right? Come back to yourself. Understand that all of our choices do indeed have consequences, for good and for bad, right? But it's needing to, and I don't want to, just because I was about to say come back to your truth, but I don't want to say that because it's just so broad and watered down, you know what I mean? The most simplest way that I could put it, Leo, this is yet again another one of those things where you guys are being blocked by Spirit. You know what I'm saying? But the purpose of why it is that you're being blocked is because you really have to do what I've been saying to everyone all month and ask yourself, what is it that you really want? It's like you got to be real clear about what in your life you're not jiving with, what is not working for you. You have to be able to specifically say what it is if you want any hope of changing it. You know what I mean? Because I feel you guys may be very privy and clear of what it is that you're ruminating over, but you have no idea what the source of it is. You know what I mean? Like where someone asks you like, well, what are you so upset about? It's like, my life. And it's like, well, what about your life? Like your whole life? Like, what is it really? Like, is it your work life, your romantic life? Is it your money life? Is it your spiritual life? Like, what facet of your life is it? Like, what is it that's really wrong? And I don't know isn't the right answer. It's like you owe it to yourself to know, because you can't ever solve the problem if you don't know what the problem is. You know what I mean? And it's not just my life. You know what I'm saying? So as opposed to continuing on this path, and having these half-hearted victories and going home and being miserable, or surrounding yourself with people that you really don't like, or forcing yourself to be someone that you really aren't, or settling for less than what it is that you really want, it's like, do yourself the favor of really getting down to the root of what it is that you're unhappy about, or ask yourself if what you're fighting for is really worth fighting for. Because I honestly feel that all of this like unrest, like all of this just uneasy energy, all of that is symptoms of the deeper problem that's telling you like, this isn't where we should be, this isn't where we need to be, like we're really far off our path, we're really far off from our truth, like we need to get back to us. Like that's really the vibe that I'm getting. It's almost like alarm bells that are going off for my Leos, you know what I mean? And I think, like I said, taking into account you guys reading from last month, which was really, really good, you don't want to step into this new cycle or into this new energy with this cloud hovering over you that can rob your joy in a second. You know what I mean? Because it's all in your mind, you know? I hope that that makes sense, Leo. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments and stuff. I'm going over to Vimeo, my website, Patreon, and YouTube members that do you guys extended. If you don't know, your extended is an overview of 2021. Nothing to be creeped out about. I'm using Oracle so it doesn't scare people, you know what I'm saying? So if you're about that life, follow me on over there, my friend. But if not, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. Love your face.